All right, if you're watching this, you must need a little bit of help or a little bit of confidence on finding common denominators to add or subtract. If you get to 7-5 and you're still not sure, you really should be doing this with a coach or a partner or come to small group. But if you are comfortable watching the videos to learn, here we go. So it says, number 1, in the example on page 286, how much more paint did Kayla use to paint the bedroom ceiling than the bathroom ceiling? So in the bedroom, she used 2/3. And how much more? That is a key word to tell me that they're going to be subtracting. I need to subtract to solve. So 2/3 minus 1/5. Now, not enough room here to solve. But if I were using the giant one, I could squeeze them in right next to it. Some of you prefer to do it side to side, which is fine. I want to rewrite these fractions so that I have common denominators. So 3 and 5, they're pretty close together, and one can't go into the other. So I'm going to multiply them to find their first common denominator, which is 15. So I'm going to be equal 15ths minus 15ths. The first one over here. To get to 15ths, I need to multiply 3 times 5, which means my numerator also needs to be multiplied by 5 so that it's equivalent. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. And then over here, to go from 5ths to 15th, I need to multiply by 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 3 is 3. And when I subtract these, 10 15ths minus 3 15ths is 7 15ths. 7 is prime. 15 is not a multiple of 7, so it cannot simplify. It's already done. Number 2, Kevin estimated the difference of 9/12 and 4/8 to be 0. Is his estimate reasonable? I'm going to sprinkle in this little estimation practice. So if I were doing this or explaining it with you, I would tell you that 9/10 is really close to 10/10, so that's going to round to 1 minus 4/8. 4/8, 4 is half of 8, so it's equivalent to 1/2. So I'm going to use the benchmark fraction 1/2 when I'm estimating, and 1 minus 1/2 is about 1/2. Okay, so is its estimate reasonable? Nope. A better estimate is 1/2. All right, and now it's just time to solve. So I like how these are written up and down. Makes it easier for me to write in equivalent fractions and then add them. So 15ths and 6ths. You might need to skip count on these and rest your multiples. If you know your facts, you'll probably figure it out pretty fast. I like to start with the bigger number, but I want to keep the other number in mind. So I'm looking at 15. I know the first one's 15, the second one's 30, and already I can stop because I know that 30 is a multiple of 6. It goes 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. It's the 5th multiple of 6. So these are both going to be changed to 30ths. I feel like I didn't have enough room. 30ths. And then I have to ask myself, how did I go from 15ths to 30ths? Just zoom in a little bit. 15 times 2 is 30, and 1 times 2 is 2. 6 times 5 is 30, and 1 times 5 is 5. So now I can add these. 5 30ths plus 2 30ths is 7 30ths. All right, I'm just going to do one more, not only do the bell ring, but I feel like if you're still struggling at this point, you really need to come see me instead of watching a video. But when we're doing parentheses, I want to make sure that I'm doing that first because of the order of operations. Sometimes we call it PEMDAS. P stands for parentheses, and that comes first. But when I'm looking at these, I notice that my denominators are 8ths and 4ths. 4 I can turn into 8. So I'm going to keep the 8ths, and I'm just going to change the 2 4ths. I'm going to subtract it from 8. So how did I go from 4 to 8? Oopsies. To 8. I multiply by 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. So now I just have 7/8 plus 4/8 minus 4/8. Well, 4/8 minus 4/8 is 0. And 7/8 plus 0 is 7/8. So don't let these scare you. Just have 2 steps. Not a big deal. All right. Like I said, I know I'm not doing all of these, but I really feel like in 7-5, if you don't know what you're doing yet, you need to come work with me or a partner. So I will see you soon if you still need help.